The vast chamber of the Galactic Council shimmered with an array of colors and shapes. Representatives from countless star systems hovered or floated in their preferred forms. Some were crystalline, some gaseous, and some moved with delicate tentacles. The room hummed with quiet tension, as the Council prepared for a discussion that could decide the future of an entire galaxy. At the head of the chamber stood a tall, shimmering figure known as Elder Valen of the Oriath, his voice amplified through a strange crystalline resonator, carried across the hall. "Council members," he began, "we have convened today to discuss a species that has grown too quickly, too unpredictably. That species is humanity." A low murmur spread through the chamber. Many members had heard of humanity, but considered them primitive. Their technology had only recently achieved interstellar travel, and their colonies were limited to nearby systems. To most, humans seemed small, even insignificant. Elder Valen raised a hand. "Do not underestimate them. Humans have qualities that our records cannot fully explain. They adapt in ways that defy prediction. They unite in the face of danger. They are dangerous if provoked." The words hung in the chamber like a warning bell, yet as always some council members were impatient. Ambassador Rylos, a sleek, silver-skinned diplomat from the Ventari, leaned forward. "Dangerous? They are a small species. Their fleets are weak. Their weapons are not advanced compared to ours. Surely, Elder Valen, you exaggerate?" "I do not exaggerate," Valen replied. "Human history shows repeated patterns of survival against impossible odds. They rise stronger each time they are challenged. And they have something we cannot measure, willpower. Do not provoke them. If we ignore this, we may regret it for generations." A few other representatives nodded quietly, clearly uneasy. But the majority, like Rylos, dismissed the warning. The galaxy had faced many small civilizations. Humanity, some thought, was no different. The desire for expansion outweighed caution. Systems rich with resources beckoned, and humans occupied many of the nearby star systems. Some ambitious species had already begun planning moves to secure these territories. Meanwhile, far from the council chamber, humans on Earth and in their colonies lived unaware of the deliberations concerning them. On Earth, cities glowed beneath the blue sky, now dotted with satellites and stations orbiting above. Humans were thriving, exploring space with curiosity, building peaceful colonies and studying alien phenomena they had discovered. They were proud but cautious, focused on knowledge and progress rather than conquest. In the distant colony of Arcadia 9, a young human pilot named Leah Moreno was running simulations in the fleet's training center. Leah had a reputation for clever tactics and quick thinking. Her instructors admired her creativity, though she often bent rules to achieve results. Today she worked with her squadron on a series of navigation exercises through asteroid fields. She laughed as her drone raced past the obstacles, narrowly avoiding collisions. "The way you handled that maneuver was impressive," her instructor said. "But remember, you're not just playing a game. These skills could save lives." Leah smiled. "I know, but sometimes the best solutions come from thinking differently." Across the galaxy, fleets of alien ships quietly prepared. They did not follow Elder Valen's warning. They planned incursions near human-controlled systems. Some claimed it was a simple test to measure humans' capabilities. Others saw it as a chance to claim resources. None realized the consequences that would come from underestimating humans. The first contact began subtly. Small scouting ships approached human colonies under the guise of routine exploration. Sensors picked up anomalies, slightly different energy readings, brief interference with communications, objects moving faster than human ships could identify. Yet humans treated the incidents with calm professionalism. Reports were filed, investigations begun, but panic was never part of the human response. On Earth, the Galactic Monitoring Center detected the anomalies. Director Samuel Kane studied the data carefully. A veteran of many encounters with unknown phenomena, Kane noticed a pattern. "This isn't random," he said, leaning over the holographic display. "These disturbances are deliberate. Someone is testing us." His assistant, a young officer named Reena Patel, frowned. "Could it be an alien species?" Kane nodded gravely. "It's likely, but they're not making full contact. We need to observe carefully and prepare for possible escalation." Meanwhile, in Arcadia 9, Leah received a strange alert on her console. A signal of unknown origin had briefly jammed communications in her sector. She reported it immediately. "This feels like more than interference," she said to her squadron leader. "Someone's watching, maybe even waiting." The squadron leader, Commander Holt, frowned. "You're right, Moreno. Keep your focus. Prepare for any encounter. And remember, the humans we are today are nothing compared to what we could be if provoked." Back in the Galactic Council chamber, Elder Valen's warnings had not led to action. Some species laughed quietly at his caution. "Humans cannot fight a fleet like ours," said another ambassador, a large, multi-limbed creature from the Dravani. "Why waste energy worrying about them?" Yet Elder Valen remained firm. "You may ignore the warning. You may act out of greed or ambition. But history has shown that those who underestimate humanity do so at their peril." The first wave of provocations was ready to begin. Alien fleets moved toward human colonies near uninhabited star systems. Their plan was simple: a show of force, perhaps a minor strike to test human defenses, followed by resource extraction. They assumed that humans would retreat or negotiate. They assumed wrong. In the outer space near Arcadia 9, alien ships emerged from stealth fields, their sleek hulls reflecting starlight. Leah's sensors immediately detected them. Her squadron scrambled, alarms blaring in the command center. "Unknown fleet approaching fast," she reported. "They're trying to cut off our communication lines." Commander Holt activated shields and deployed drones. "Do not engage unless necessary. Observe, report, and defend if they attack," he ordered. "We must understand what we are dealing with before escalation." The alien ships, confident in their superiority, fired warning pulses. Small energy bursts disrupted communication arrays. Leah's squadron dodged nimbly, using asteroid debris for cover. Yet the aliens seemed surprised. They had expected humans to panic, to falter. Instead, the human pilots moved with precision, protecting their colony and civilians. Leah's mind raced. She realized this was a test, but the aggressors had underestimated her people's creativity. Using clever maneuvers, she led the alien ships into an asteroid field, where their larger formations struggled. Communication interference had only delayed the humans briefly, but it gave Leah time to analyze alien movement patterns. She relayed information back to the colony's command center, helping scientists adjust defensive strategies. Back on Earth, Director Kane watched the unfolding events through real-time reports. He noted how human crews remained calm, disciplined, and clever. "This is exactly what the Council warned about," he said quietly to his assistant. "Humans may be underestimated now, but soon the galaxy will learn our strength." The alien commanders, meanwhile, were growing frustrated. Their scouts reported little progress. Humans were adaptive, coordinated, and willing to take risks that no other species might consider. Their resolve was evident. The first probes of human ingenuity and determination had surprised them, and it became clear that humanity was more than a minor inconvenience. In the Galactic Council chamber, Elder Valen could only watch through the interstellar network. "They have not listened," he whispered, "and they will regret it." But it was already too late for the aliens. The first hints of human retaliation had begun. Leah Moreno, Commander Holt, and thousands of other humans across colonies prepared not for surrender, but for defense. The seeds of human resilience had been sown, and the galaxy was about to witness what humanity could achieve when provoked. The Council's warning had been clear, yet ignored. The humans were ready and they were watching. A storm was coming, and it would not be gentle. Humanity, underestimated for too long, was about to show its true strength. The stars stretched endlessly around Arcadia 9, glittering quietly as though the universe itself were holding its breath. The alien fleet, once confident and daring, now moved cautiously. Humanity had surprised them at every turn. Their tactics, unity, and determination were unlike anything the aliens had anticipated, and now, humans were ready to take the fight beyond defense. They were going on the offensive. Commander Holt stood on the command deck of the Aurora, the colony's flagship. He gazed at the holographic display of the alien fleet hovering beyond sensor range. "They think they can overwhelm us," he said to Leah Moreno, who was at the tactical console beside him. "But they've already underestimated what humans can do." Leah's eyes were bright with focus. "They don't know we've been analyzing their every move. We've learned their patterns, their weaknesses. Now it's time to act." Across the fleet, human ships powered up, preparing for coordinated strikes. Engineers and scientists had worked tirelessly. modifying ships with improved shielding and adaptive weapons. Civilians contributed as well, designing clever drones and deploying automated systems to aid in the defense and offense. Humanity's unity extended beyond the military. Everyone had a role, and every role mattered. Director Kane on Earth monitored the situation through the interstellar communication network. "They're ready, Rena," he said quietly. "Humans are not just defending themselves. They are learning, adapting, and preparing to challenge the aliens. This is the moment that will define the future." The first strike was planned carefully. Leah's squadron would lead a diversion, drawing part of the alien fleet into an asteroid belt where human ships had set traps and deployed surveillance drones. Meanwhile, larger human cruisers would approach from a different angle, ready to strike at exposed sections of alien vessels. "Remember," Holt said to his officers, "this is not just about fighting. It's about strategy, intelligence, and precision. Every move counts." The operation began. Leah's squadron darted through space like silver arrows, weaving through asteroid debris. Sensors flashed warnings, but the squadron followed the pre-planned path. The alien fleet pursued, confident in their superior speed and firepower. They assumed that the humans would break formation under pressure. They were wrong. Inside the asteroid field, the humans had prepared surprises. Drones released clouds of reflective particles, causing alien sensors to misread positions. Automated turrets, hidden behind asteroids, fired precise bursts that disabled engines and weapon systems on unsuspecting ships. Leah's squadron acted as both bait and guide, luring the aliens deeper into the trap. From the command deck of the Aurora, Holt observed with satisfaction. "They're taking the bait perfectly. Now engage the secondary strike force." Human cruisers emerged from hyperspace at carefully calculated points, surrounding sections of the alien fleet. Energy weapons fired in synchronized bursts, targeting weak points identified through drone intelligence. Alien ships attempted evasive maneuvers, but their larger size and unfamiliarity with the asteroid terrain made them vulnerable. For the first time, humans held the advantage. Leah's squadron intercepted an alien flanking party, preventing them from cutting off the main attack. Her team moved with precision, communicating silently through visual signals and quick pulses of secure data links. Each action built upon the next, creating a coordinated dance of defense and offense that left the alien fleet struggling to respond. One alien commander, observing the chaos, growled in frustration. "These humans, they adapt too quickly. Their tactics are unpredictable. We cannot anticipate their next move." Yet even as the humans pushed forward, the aliens tried to regroup, firing wide energy bursts to break formations. Leah's squadron dodged, using the asteroid field to their advantage, and relayed the new data to human engineers. The engineers immediately adjusted shield frequencies and weapon targeting, turning the alien attack into an opportunity for even greater precision. Meanwhile, in the colony, civilians continued to support the effort. Energy grids were rerouted to damaged systems. Minor repairs were made in real time, and automated supply lines ensured that human ships remained stocked and ready. Every human involved understood that their strength was in unity, and that intelligence was as powerful as firepower. Dr. Elena Ruiz, coordinating from the colony's research center, analyzed alien movement patterns in real time. "Commander Holt," she said, "their shield generators on the larger ships are weaker on the starboard side. If your squadron can create a diversion, we can target those points for maximum effect." Holt nodded. "Leah, can your team handle the diversion?" "Already in motion," Leah replied. "We'll draw them in exactly where you want." The plan unfolded flawlessly. Leah's squadron led a group of alien cruisers into a narrow corridor, where automated turrets and hidden drones opened fire. Alien ships struggled to maneuver, their shields faltering under precise coordinated strikes. Human cruisers exploited the openings, targeting engines and critical systems. Several alien ships were disabled, drifting helplessly among the asteroids. The first major victory was complete, but Leah knew the fight was far from over. "This is just the beginning," she said. "They'll regroup and they'll come back stronger." "We need to be ready," Commander Holt agreed. "We've shown them what humans can do, but the real test is how we respond when they escalate further." Even as humans celebrated the small victory, the alien leaders convened their own council aboard their flagship. Tensions were high. Their confidence had been shattered. Alien arrogance had blinded them to a simple truth. Humans were not merely reactive. They were proactive, inventive, and fearless. One alien strategist argued for immediate withdrawal, fearing further losses. Another demanded reinforcements, claiming that humanity could only be defeated with overwhelming force. Yet even among themselves, the aliens struggled to predict human behavior. Every tactic they had used failed against humans' adaptability and teamwork. Back at the colony, human crews continued to repair damaged systems and gather intelligence from captured alien technology. Leah Moreno examined a small drone retrieved from a disabled alien ship. Its design was advanced, but she quickly realized she could adapt it for human use. "This will give us an edge," she said. "We can learn from them and turn their strengths against them." Director Kane on Earth monitored the progress. He saw the patterns forming, the signs of human ingenuity and resilience. "This is exactly what Elder Valen warned about," Kane said to Rena Patel. "Humans are not just surviving, they are thriving under pressure. They are learning faster than their enemies can adapt." The aliens, realizing that humans could not be intimidated, escalated their tactics. Larger fleets approached, aiming to overwhelm colonies with sheer numbers. But humans were prepared. They had analyzed alien fleet movements, studied their weapons, and adapted their own technology. Leah and Holt coordinated fleets across multiple sectors, using diversion, intelligence, and strategy to hold the line. Even civilians contributed. Scientists modified drones, engineers reinforced ships, and ordinary colonists supported operations by managing logistics and communications. Every action was part of a greater plan, and every human knew their role mattered. As the first full-scale engagement began, the aliens discovered the true cost of underestimating humanity. Ships that had once seemed invincible faltered under human strategy. Fleet formations collapsed when faced with coordinated diversions. Energy weapons misfired, disrupted by drones that humans had modified in real time. The aliens began to realize that humans were not just clever, they were unstoppable when united. In a daring maneuver, Leah led a strike team directly into the center of the alien fleet. Her goal was not to destroy but to confuse, creating openings for human cruisers to exploit. The aliens fired relentlessly, but Leah's precision flying kept her squadron safe. She deployed small energy pulses that temporarily disabled alien sensors, allowing human ships to attack weak points undetected. The aliens, frustrated and confused, attempted to retreat, but humans anticipated this, cutting off escape routes with coordinated strikes. Several alien vessels were captured, providing valuable intelligence for future engagements. The first decisive human victories in the conflict were complete, and the aliens began to understand that humanity could not be intimidated or easily defeated. At the colony, civilians cheered as reports of victories reached them. Leah Moreno returned to the Aurora, exhausted but triumphant. Commander Holt clapped her on the shoulder. "You did well, Moreno. This is the first step in showing the galaxy that humans are not weak." Leah smiled faintly, though she knew the fight was far from over. "It's only the beginning," she said. "They'll come back and we'll be ready." They haven't seen the full strength of humanity yet. Even in the darkness of space, humanity's light shone brighter than ever. They had adapted, learned, and struck back with precision and courage. For the first time, the aliens understood the truth of Elder Valen's warning. Humans were not a species to provoke. The battle had shifted. Humanity was no longer on the defensive. They had begun to fight back, and the galaxy was about to witness just how formidable humans could be when cornered. The darkness of deep space was pierced by the glow of hundreds of ships moving in coordinated patterns. The human fleet, now fully organized and battle-ready, approached the heart of the alien command hub. Intelligence gathered from previous encounters had revealed a critical weakness. The aliens' command structure depended on a few central vessels that coordinated their entire fleet. Disabling these hubs could cripple the alien forces and shift the war decisively in humanity's favor. Commander Holt stood on the deck of the Aurora, gazing at the holographic map of the alien hub. Beside him, Leah Moreno studied her tactical console, her fingers flying over controls as she calculated trajectories, predicted enemy maneuvers, and devised attack strategies. "We've learned from every skirmish," she said. "We know their patterns. We know where they're vulnerable. Now we strike where it hurts most." The operation was ambitious. Human ships would divide into multiple squadrons, each assigned to a specific target. Leah's squadron would act as bait, drawing enemy forces into traps designed with precision. Simultaneously, the main fleet would target shield generators, communications arrays, and propulsion systems, creating confusion and chaos within the alien ranks. At the colony command center, Dr. Elena Ruiz monitored alien communications that had been intercepted during the battle. "Commander," she said, "they are becoming predictable. Their command vessels are relying on the same routing patterns. We can use this to our advantage." Holt nodded. "Leah, it's time. Lead the diversion. Make them follow you into the trap." Leah gripped the controls of her ship. Her squadron followed her into a tight asteroid cluster near the hub, weaving among floating rocks while cloaked drones waited for activation. Alien ships detected her as expected and pursued aggressively. They fired energy bursts attempting to disable her squadron, but the humans' nimble movements and precise timing allowed them to evade damage. As the aliens pressed forward, hidden drones activated, releasing pulses that interfered with their energy weapons. Asteroids positioned strategically along their path forced larger ships to slow down or risk collision. Leah guided her squadron with skill, keeping them just ahead of the alien fleet while transmitting live coordinates to the main human forces. From above, human cruisers surged forward, striking exposed sections of alien vessels. Shield generators flared and failed under coordinated fire, while propulsion systems were targeted to prevent retreat. Several alien ships were disabled within minutes, drifting helplessly in the void. Humanity's offensive was methodical, precise, and unstoppable. Even as the aliens attempted to regroup, humans anticipated every move. Drones fed real-time data back to the fleet, allowing pilots to adjust attacks and counter alien strategies almost instantly. Civilians supported the operation by maintaining systems, analyzing captured alien data, and keeping supply lines flowing smoothly. Every human contribution mattered, and every action strengthened the offensive. Leah spotted a particularly large alien command ship attempting to escape the trap. Its shields were stronger than most, but her team had planned for this. "We can't let it get away," she said. "If it survives, they'll regroup and attack again." Commander Holt nodded. "Focus your squadron on diversion. Main fleet will strike the command ship while it's distracted." The maneuver worked perfectly. Leah's squadron drew the enemy ship into a corridor of automated turrets and drone swarms. As it struggled to navigate, the main fleet launched a concentrated attack. Energy beams struck weak points identified from previous intelligence, disabling shields and causing critical system failures. The alien command ship was incapacitated, and its fleet immediately lost cohesion. In the chaos, alien leaders realized they had underestimated humans in every possible way. Their strategies, once confident and aggressive, now faltered under the relentless precision of human coordination. Panic spread through their ranks as smaller ships attempted to flee, only to be intercepted or forced into further traps. In the human command center, Dr. Ruiz smiled. "They're learning too late. Humanity adapts faster than they can react." Meanwhile, on Earth, Director Kane monitored the outcome with a mix of relief and pride. "This is a turning point," he said. "Humans have proven that strategy, intelligence, and unity outweigh raw numbers and technology." Back at Arcadia 9, civilians cheered as reports of the successful offensive streamed in. Engineers repaired minor damages quickly, while scientists studied captured alien technology for further enhancements. Leah and her squadron returned to the flagship, exhausted but exhilarated. Commander Holt clapped her on the shoulder. "You led brilliantly. This is what it means to fight smart." Leah smiled faintly. "We've only begun to show what humans can do." The aliens were forced to retreat, regrouping in distant sectors. Their morale was shattered, and their leaders now fully understood the consequences of ignoring Elder Valen's warning. Humiliation and frustration replaced arrogance and confidence. Humanity had turned the tide of battle, demonstrating that they were capable not only of defending themselves but of dominating through strategy, adaptability, and courage. Yet even as the humans celebrated, they remained vigilant. Leah studied the data from the battle and realized that the aliens would return with greater force. "They won't give up easily," she said to Holt. "We need to be ready for what comes next." Holt nodded. "Agreed, but for now we've shown them who we are. Humanity is no longer a species to provoke lightly." In the far reaches of the galaxy, the Council's network picked up signals from the alien retreat. Elder Valen's voice echoed through the chamber. "The humans have proven my warnings true," he said quietly. "They are resourceful, courageous, and united. Those who challenge them have learned a lesson they will not forget." Several council members exchanged uneasy glances. "Perhaps we misjudged them," one said. "We ignored the warning at our peril." Meanwhile, humans used the victory to reinforce colonies, strengthen defenses, and improve communication networks. They had learned valuable lessons from the encounters and integrated them into strategy. Civilians continued to contribute through logistics, research, and innovation. Every human action, no matter how small, was part of the larger effort. Leah Moreno, watching the stars from the deck of the Aurora, reflected on everything they had achieved. "They thought they could intimidate us," she whispered. "But we adapted. We fought smart. We protected what matters most, and we won." Commander Holt placed a hand on her shoulder. "They'll remember this day," he said. "The day humanity showed the galaxy what it means to fight with intelligence, courage, and unity." The galaxy was changing. Humanity had proven that it could rise to any challenge, that it could turn the tide against superior forces, and that it would never submit to threats. For the first time, humans had taken the offensive, demonstrating a combination of ingenuity and bravery that few species could match. The alien command hub lay crippled, their fleet scattered and their confidence shattered. Humanity had not only defended their colonies, but had demonstrated that they could take the fight to the enemy. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted, but Leah knew this was only the beginning. The aliens would regroup, learn from their mistakes, and return. The human fleet would need to continue adapting, improving, and preparing for future battles. And humanity, united and resilient, was ready for whatever came next. As the stars glimmered across the void, Leah and her team set a course back to the colony, their hearts proud and minds sharp. Humanity had turned the tide, but the war for recognition, respect, and survival in the galaxy was far from over. The storm had shifted in humanity's favor. The aliens had learned a crucial lesson. Humans were not a species to provoke, underestimate, or challenge lightly, and the next phase of the conflict would test both sides like never before. The galaxy had grown silent after the human victory at the alien command hub, but everyone knew that the silence would not last forever. Deep in the darkness of space, the alien empire was regrouping, rebuilding, and planning a counterattack stronger than anything humanity had faced before. On the human side, preparations never stopped. The colonies worked day and night to repair ships, produce supplies, and train new pilots. The fleet had expanded, and every officer now understood the importance of unity and smart planning. The lessons learned from the earlier battles became the foundation for their future defense. Commander Holt stood before the massive display aboard the Aurora, watching the glowing outlines of hundreds of ships forming new defensive formations. Leah Moreno entered the command room carrying a datapad filled with new intelligence reports. "They're coming," she said quietly. "Our scanners picked up large energy signatures near the edge of the system. Their fleet is moving fast." Holt turned to face her. "How many ships?" "Too many," she replied. "But we're ready this time." Across the colonies, everyone prepared. Engineers strengthened the orbital defense grids. Drones patrolled the outer borders. Scientists activated new energy shields that had been developed from captured alien technology. Every part of humanity worked together as one. Dr. Elena Ruiz analyzed the alien data and discovered something crucial. "Their new fleet is stronger," she said in a meeting, "but their control systems are still centralized. If we can strike their command node again, we can disrupt their entire coordination." Director Kane, monitoring from Earth, gave the order. "Then that's what we'll do. Humanity doesn't run anymore. We stand." The alien fleet soon appeared at the edge of human territory. Their ships stretched across the stars like a massive storm of light. They sent a signal to all human channels, a simple message that echoed across every system. "You were warned to submit. This is your final chance." The humans didn't reply with words. Their silence was the only answer. Commander Holt raised his hand. "All fleets, hold formation. Wait for my signal." When the first alien ships entered range, the battle began. Humanity's ships moved in tight, organized patterns. Swarms of drones flew ahead to confuse the alien sensors, creating ghost signals and false targets. Leah Moreno led her squadron once again, darting through enemy fire with perfect timing. Explosions lit up the darkness as ships from both sides exchanged fire, beams of light streaking across the void. The aliens had learned from their earlier mistakes, but so had the humans. This time, humanity's strategies were unpredictable. Holt ordered sudden maneuvers, drawing the enemy fleet into overlapping zones of fire. Drones carried decoy transmitters, making the aliens attack empty space. Dr. Ruiz coordinated from the command center, sending data updates every second. Their command node is hidden behind their front line, she reported. But if we push through here, she pointed to a sector on the holographic map, we can reach it. Leah's voice came through the comms. Leave it to me. My squadron will break through. With fearless precision, Leah's squadron accelerated toward the enemy center. Alien ships turned their weapons on her, but she and her pilots wove through the fire like streaks of light. Missiles curved through the void, targeting the command ship. The aliens responded with their most powerful shields, blocking the first attack. Commander Holt saw the opportunity. All main cannons, focus fire, he ordered. The Aurora and its sister ships released a combined blast of energy that tore through the alien formation. The command ship's shields flickered, then collapsed. Leah seized the moment. Firing final strike! Her ship's missiles hit directly at the alien command node. A massive burst of light filled space as the alien coordination network went offline. Their ships suddenly began to move out of sync, their formations breaking apart. Without central control, the alien fleet fell into confusion. Now, Holt shouted. Push forward. Human ships advanced, striking disoriented enemies with calculated precision. Within minutes, the tide of battle turned again. The alien ships, once an unstoppable storm, were now scattered fragments of their former strength. In the council chambers far away, Elder Valen watched the live data with sadness. They were warned, he said softly. They believed humanity was weak. But humanity learns faster than any of us expected. The battle raged on for hours. The humans, though outnumbered, refused to give up. Every pilot fought not just for survival, but for the future of their species. Civilians back home sent live data updates, controlling support drones and energy transfers to the fleet. Humanity's unity had become its greatest weapon. At last, the alien flagship tried to escape, its engines glowing bright as it turned away from the fight. Leah's squadron pursued, unwilling to let it flee. We can't let them regroup, she said. Commander Holt responded. Understood. All ships cover them. Leah, end this. The chase moved through a field of floating debris and shattered vessels. Leah's ship dodged the wreckage and aimed her last missile. For Earth, she whispered. The missile streaked forward and struck the enemy flagship's core. The explosion was blinding, a burst of light that marked the end of the alien command. The remaining alien ships stopped fighting. Without orders, many began to retreat into deep space. Others simply powered down, their systems disabled. The war was over. Silence returned once more to the galaxy. Inside the Aurora, the crew cheered. Commander Holt looked around the bridge, pride in his eyes. We did it, he said quietly. Humanity stood its ground. Leah leaned back in her chair, exhausted but smiling. They'll think twice before provoking us again. Dr. Ruiz joined the channel from the surface. We've confirmed it. Their fleet is gone. They're retreating from all human systems. Director Kane's voice echoed across the comms from Earth. To every colony, every ship, every human, this victory belongs to all of us. The galaxy will remember this day. News spread quickly. Across the colonies, people celebrated. Children looked up at the stars with wonder, knowing that their world was safe again. Factories that once built weapons began to focus on rebuilding and exploration. The human fleet would remain ready, but their mission had changed, from survival to discovery. Months later, Elder Valen stood before the Galactic Council. The humans have done what few thought possible, he said. They united under threat, learned faster than any species before them, and defended their home with intelligence and courage. They must not be treated as a danger, but as equals. The Council, once divided, agreed. Humanity was granted full recognition among the interstellar civilizations. Peace treaties were signed, and trade routes opened between species that had once been enemies. On the Aurora, Leah and Holt stood together, looking out at the stars. Do you think they'll ever come back? Leah asked. Maybe, Holt replied. But if they do, they'll remember what happened here. And they'll remember the warning that was ignored. Leah smiled softly. The Council warned them, she said. Do not provoke humanity. They didn't listen, Holt nodded. And now the galaxy knows what that means. As the aurora sailed through the starlit void, humanity's future stretched wide before them. They had fought not just to survive, but to prove their place among the stars. Through courage, unity, and endless determination, they had changed the balance of the galaxy forever. The war was over, but the story of humanity had only begun. The stars no longer seemed distant. They were destinations waiting to be reached. And every human knew one truth that would echo for generations. Those who threaten humanity will always be reminded. The Council warned, do not provoke humanity. Far beyond the edges of the Milky Way, in a region where stars shone like scattered diamonds, the Council of the Galaxies convened. The council chamber floated in the void, a magnificent structure of shimmering metal and energy fields, where representatives of countless advanced civilizations gathered. They were beings of great intelligence and vast experience. Some had bodies like crystalline towers, some moved like shifting clouds of light, and some seemed almost human, though far taller and stronger. Yet among all of them, one species was a topic of constant amusement: humans. Akron, the leader of the council, a being of flowing silver energy, swirled around the central dais. "We are gathered here to discuss potential threats," Akron said, voice echoing across the chamber. "Our sensors indicate a civilization in a small blue planet in a remote solar system. They call themselves humans." Velshor, a tall being with 4 eyes that glowed in soft green hues, laughed. "Humans, that primitive? They are barely past their planet's own gravity. They do not even have true interstellar travel. What possible threat could they be?" Tilren, whose form constantly changed like liquid metal, added, "I observed their signals for many cycles. They quarrel constantly, fight among themselves, and still rely on primitive combustion engines. They cannot even sustain their own atmosphere in multiple regions. They are amusing, but not dangerous." Akron's tendrils of silver energy twitched slightly. "It is true that they are primitive in technology compared to us, but the reports are not entirely clear. There are anomalies. Their intelligence appears unpredictable. I have seen signs that their adaptability is unusual." Velshor rolled eyes, blinking in disbelief. "Unusual?" "They are reactive, nothing more. Perhaps a minor nuisance. We have spent centuries observing species like this. They have no technology that could challenge us. If they tried, they would fail before leaving their own atmosphere." One voice, softer and hesitant, spoke from the far end of the chamber. It belonged to an alien named Kirill, a small insect-like species with a mind network that spanned across its own body. "I do not mean to disrupt, but the humans' signals sometimes indicate coordination far beyond what their technology should allow. Some patterns in their energy usage, their communications. It is not always random. There may be latent potential." Akron swirled closer to Kirill. "Explain, Kirill. Do you suggest we are underestimating them?" Kirill's multiple eyes reflected the light of the chamber. "I do not claim certainty, but their adaptability, combined with small technological leaps, may allow them to achieve more than expected. We should not dismiss them entirely." Velshor scoffed, a sound like grinding stones. "We would need to consider them a threat if they mastered interstellar flight. They have not done so. Until then, they are amusing creatures to watch, like younglings trying to swim before they can fly." The council erupted in laughter. The notion that these humans, who fought over small territories and primitive machines, could become a serious threat was entertaining. Some of the more conservative members even suggested sending a holographic observation probe, just to see them stumble over their own mistakes. Akron, however, maintained a careful tone. "Watch them, yes, but do not dismiss them entirely. Even a small spark can start a fire." Velshor waved a tendril dismissively. "A spark? Perhaps a candle flicker at most. They will never reach a flame." While the council debated millions of light years away on a small blue planet, humans were busy in ways the aliens did not yet understand. Cities buzzed with activity. Spacecraft launched from hidden bases, and scientists worked tirelessly on engines that could leap past the stars. It was all quiet, almost secret. To the aliens, Earth seemed unremarkable. To the humans, it was home, and they were preparing for a future even they did not fully understand. On Earth, Captain Mara Voss stood on the deck of a human orbital station, gazing at the stars. She was young, but her mind was sharp and her spirit unyielding. "All systems ready?" she asked her crew, a diverse group of engineers, navigators, and scientists. "Yes, Captain." said Lieutenant Ryan, adjusting a console. "The Endeavor is stable. All tests show it can perform beyond expected limits. The stealth field is functioning perfectly." Mara nodded. "Good. The Council out there in the galaxy may not know it yet, but humanity is preparing. Quietly, carefully, but we are ready." The crew worked silently, understanding the importance of their mission. They were the first human team to leave the solar system with full interstellar capability. Every sensor, every engine, every shield had been tested to perfection. Humanity had learned to grow under pressure, to survive conflicts, and to innovate. And now they were about to test that growth. Back in the council chamber, a holographic display flickered to life. Velshore's eyes widened slightly, though the expression was carefully masked by arrogance. "Holographic projection from their planet," Velshore said. "Let us see what chaos they have created today." The projection showed small bursts of human activity, ships leaving orbit, energy fields forming, signals bouncing off distant points in space. The aliens watched for a moment, then chuckled. "Primitive experiments," Velshore said. "Nothing more. They do not understand what they attempt." Akron, however, watched with a subtle frown. "Pay attention. Observe the patterns. There may be more than they show. Humans often hide their full capability until necessary. That is their nature." The other aliens continued to mock, whispering jokes about human struggles and their tiny ships. But Akron remained silent, letting the images speak for themselves. Even a species as unpredictable as humans could become dangerous if underestimated. Meanwhile, on Earth, Mara's ship glimmered in the shadows of the station. The Endeavor was small compared to alien standards, but it carried technology that even the most curious eyes of the Council would fail to detect. Engines that could bend light, shields that absorbed energy instead of reflecting it, and navigation systems that could anticipate threats before they occurred. Humanity had learned the power of careful observation, creativity, and adaptation. Mara stood alone for a moment, watching the stars stretch across the blackness of space. "They may laugh at us," she whispered to herself, "but they do not know who we are yet. One day they will understand." Kirill's warning had echoed silently through the council chambers of the galaxy, a small note of caution among the laughter. Yet it could not pierce the arrogance of Velshore or the certainty of Tilren. Even Akron, who understood the unpredictability of humans, could not yet see how far humanity would go. On Earth, scientists prepared communication signals, not to declare war but to announce presence. The first human probes would not attack, but they would speak with intelligence, strategy, and foresight. Humanity's first step into the galaxy was quiet, deliberate, and confident. The Council laughed. They always laughed at humans. Yet in that laughter, they did not notice the subtle signs of preparation. Every system on Earth, every calculation by Mara's crew, every innovation hidden in human laboratories, was a step toward revealing a truth the galaxy had never expected. Humans were clever, adaptable, and determined beyond measure, and far away. In the Council's grand chamber, Akron's tendrils twitched. "Do not forget," he said quietly, almost to himself. "A spark can become a flame. Even they may rise faster than we predict." But the Council ignored him. They continued to laugh at humanity, dismissing the small blue planet as nothing more than a curiosity. They did not see the engines powering in secret, the shields flickering with unseen energy, and the minds of humans working together, quietly mastering what seemed impossible. In the quiet of space, the stars stretched endlessly and Earth turned, unaware of how close it was to stepping into a galaxy that would soon take it seriously. The humans had begun their journey. The galaxy was watching, but it was not watching carefully enough, and that was humanity's advantage.